All right, everybody, welcome back to another Mr. K tutorial. Today, I'm showing you how to make this image right here. So we're taking a picture of the school and we're gonna make it look really spooky and haunted looking. I'm calling it the haunted school. All right, and you can do this with any house or you could do it with the stadium. But for right now, we're gonna do it with the school. So first thing you have to do, close out. Do I really want to? Yes. You're going to, on Photopia, hit New, and you're going to rename it Haunted School. You're going to normally, by default, be over here on Social. So you want to come over to Screen and HD, and then hit Create. Okay, and this is what you get. All right, now I'm going to File, Open in Place, the picture of the school. Okay, and it is this one. There we go. Now it's going to be a little bit small. Okay, so I have to extend the edges. All right, and then I'm going to hit the check mark. So there we have the image of the school. Now, I need to get rid of that background, right? The sky. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab the quick selection tool. Okay. Quick selection tool right here. I'm really just going to click in the sky and it's going to select most of it. Like, I'm really happy that I don't have to do all that work to select all this. So now I'm going to get these little bits that it didn't select, I'm going to grab my polygonal lasso tool. Oops. I'm going to make sure I have the unite button selected, and then I'm just going to make a box around each one. All right. Really quick and easy way to get everything. And then because I've done this a lot, I know there's a spot in the corner up top right here that it also did not get. So, and this is the real reason I grabbed the polygonal lasso over any of the other lassos, because I know I can get that spot super easy. Okay, now I'm going to go up to Image, No, Layer. Okay, go to Layer, Raster Mask, and Hide Selection. Okay, so now if you see on your layer panel, there is a raster mask on this panel, and the school is white and the sky is black. Okay, and that's basically what you want. Okay, so now I have to open and place, File, Open and Place my clouds. All right, so I have specific stormy clouds for that. So I File, Open, Place that. I'm going to stretch them out so that they fit the whole canvas. Then I hit the check mark. And now what I'm going to do, very quick and easy step, I'm going to just click and drag this mask onto that layer. All right? And this makes a cool kind of effect. This isn't what I want, but this makes a cool effect that you could maybe apply to some other project later in the future. Okay? With the mask selected, this is really important. With the mask selected on the clouds layer, I click on it and then I hold Control and press I, and that inverts it. All right, so now if you noticed before the school was white and the background was black, now it's opposite of that, and now I can see it the way I want to see it. Okay, I'm going to change my blend mode to multiply, and you can see that kind of changed the sky just a little bit. All right. Now I'm going to click on the circle down at the bottom of the layer panel, go to Hue and Saturation, and my main job here is to make the school look darker. So I'm turning lightness down. Right? This is supposed to kind of be like a spooky nighttime setting. So I'm going to try to make it look like it's at nighttime. You can play around with hue a little bit to change the color of this light here, but if you go too drastic, it's going to change the color of the brick as well. Right? So really just a little bit, whether you want more of a yellowish light or more of a reddish light. I'm going to go with more of a reddish light for this. You can also turn saturation down, and that'll give the colors a more dull look. All right, and there we go. I have that done. All right, now on my menu bar, okay, I'm gonna click on the school layer. I'm gonna come up to Image, Adjustments, and Photo Filter. Okay, and that's going to kind of give like a color over everything. and the color that I want is gray. So we're really trying to mute these colors. We still want the colors, but we're trying to like mute them and make them as dark and gloomy as possible. And that's another way to do that. Okay, so now I want to be on my top layer. Okay, my top layer is my sky, so I click on that, and now I go to File, Open in Place, and I place my moon. Okay, once the moon is in there, you can resize it if you want. I like it super big because it kind of makes it more spooky, so I'm going to hit the check mark. I'm going to get rid of that background using the magic wand. Just click, delete. Oh, I have to rasterize first. Right click, rasterize. Now delete. Now deselect. Okay, next step is pretty cool. I'm going to hold the Alt key, click and drag the mask, and that's going to make a copy of the mask for that layer. Right, so that's pretty cool, real quick and easy right there. Now we're going to create our own fog. Okay, I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to grab my paintbrush. I'm going to come over to brush properties. Now it saved it from the last time I did this. Okay, so what you want to do in the brush properties, you're selecting the second row, second column. Where those intersect, that's the brush that you want. Okay, so that right there. The only difference is I'm going to change the size up a lot. All right, so I'm going to go there. Tip dynamics, we want jitter size to be around 77, doesn't need to be exact, but everything else needs to be 0. Now on scatter, I want the count jitter 100%, count for everything else 0. Color dynamic, make that 0. Transfer, make sure everything there is 0. And now I can, well, not yet, almost can now create my fog. Number 1, you want to make sure your color is white down here. And number 2, the opacity has to be down to 24%. So now when I paint with the paintbrush, right? It's adding a little bit of fog, right? And realistically, real fog gets denser the lower down it is. So I'm going to go over it another time at the bottom, and then I'll go a little bit lower and go over it another time over that. So it looks like, you know, you have different levels of fog thickness, right? And that gives it a realistic look. Now we are going to make some lightning bolts, all right? Homemade lightning bolts. All right, so I'm going to click on new layer. All right, and so I have a new layer here. I'm going to grab my gradient tool, and I'm going to click and drag to create the gradient. Okay, everybody's line is going to be different, so therefore everybody's lightning bolts are going to be different. So now that I have this gradient here, I'm going to go to Filter, Render, Difference Clouds. Okay, you have clouds and you have difference clouds. What's the difference between difference clouds and clouds? I don't know, but difference clouds is what you want. What you're looking for is like a nice line. Okay, I don't really see much of a line. Like this line looks too thick, so I'm going to undo that and redo my gradient here. Okay, and do that over again. Filter, render, difference clouds, and I might have a good one here, so I'm going to move on with it. I'm going to hold Control and press I. That's going to invert what I have. Yeah, I can see a nice lightning bolt kind of looking through there. And so now I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments, and Levels. And in the graph or chart, I'm dragging the black down a lot so that it gives me this nice thin bolt line. Okay, I'm going to click OK. I'm going to use the magic wand now to delete the black background. And I have some extra areas here, but you know, realistically most of them don't matter because it's going to be behind the school. Okay, I'm going to move this to the position that I want it. I'm going to deselect, move it to the position that I want it. I want it to be in this corner right there. Okay, and I'm going to again hold Alt and drag this mask into that layer, and that's going to hide it, put it in the background. Now I'm going to, on the lightning bolt, I'm going to click on EFF. I'm going to go to color overlay. I'm going to change my color to yellow. I'm going to give this lightning bolt a little bit of a lightning color to it. All right, maybe something like that. Click OK. Go to my moon. And I think the blood moon is always a spooky kind of moon. So I'm going to try to give it like a blood moon type look, just by giving it a dark red color. All right, and something like that. Click OK, and there it is. I'm done. That's how you do that. All right, now that I'm done, I would go up here to File, Export as JPEG. All right, and there it is. Very simple way to make any house, school, area look haunted, and a lot of it was done by Homemade Effects. All right.